Well, good morning and welcome to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Thanks for joining us here. It is March the 19th, 2023, and we are live here bright and early at Love 105 FM. Appreciate you joining us here for the show. In studio today, we've got, of course, Scott Wolmering, leader of the WE team, the Minnesota Real Estate team, and REMAX Advantage Plus. And also excited, we've got a new partner with us, Adam McIntyre Barn, the owner and founder of Nordy Photography, in studio. Adam's going to be joining us, and we're getting ready actually to go live on air here. Again, it's Love 105 FM, and this is the Minnesota Real Estate Show. 612-294-6949 is how you can join us throughout the show. Questions, comments, thoughts. Excited to be here. Scott, you ready for a fun show?
We are. Thanks for tuning in. mnrealestateshow.com is how you can find us on the website. Like Ryan said, interactive show, 612-294-6949, or you can just type your questions in online. We'll take care of it. The question of the day, for those that are not listening to the radio, question of the day is, what is your biggest fear? What's your biggest fear?
Hey, top of the morning to you. Thanks for joining us here at the Minnesota Real Estate Show. 612-294-6949 is how you can reach us at any time throughout the show. We appreciate you listening, and thanks for joining us. Excited to be here. It's Sunday morning, March the 19th, 2023. We're live here at Love 105 FM. From 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. and also on social media, on your favorite social media platform. Throughout the show, 612-294-6949 with questions, comments, thoughts. Got a lot to talk about this week. Again, the show is hosted by Mike Overson of Luminate Home Loans, Scott Wolmering, and myself, Ryan O'Neill of the Minnesota Real Estate team. Scott, good morning to you. Good to see you there, bud.
Yeah, good to be here. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Like Ryan said, this is the Minnesota Real Estate Show, and we are here every Sunday till the top of the hour. Love your questions. 612-294-6949 is how you can join us. We are going to talk, like we always do, a little bit about what's going on in the marketplace. Our show topic today, we're going to talk about some real estate myths, some myths that are out there. We're going to talk a little bit about what those are. And then we like to have a fun question every week just to get a little interaction. So the question this week, whether you're listening online or on radio, is, what is your biggest fear? What is the one thing that you don't even like to say out loud because you think it might happen if you talk about it? What's your biggest fear?
Hey, got to welcome on. It is his debut, and super excited to have our friend, a gentleman by the name of Adam McIntyre Barn, joining us. Adam is the founder of an owner of a company called Nordy Photography. And being the timing of St. Patrick's Day just passing, it's a pleasure having you on there, Adam.
Good morning. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Good morning indeed. And you are actually from where?
I'm from Belfast in Northern Ireland.
There we go. How about that, Scott? We got good timing here right after St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, I was just thinking, if I could have copied that accent through like high school and college, you know the amount of girls you can get with that accent?
Oh, you're terrible.
It's true. or you can be a professional golfer. It sounds like a professional golfer.
Yeah, Adam is again the founder and owner of a great photography company. Excited to have him on. Photography, obviously, with the presentation of any property for sale, so very important. And so we're excited to have a good discussion with Adam here today. 612-294-6949 is how you can join us. And good morning to everybody joining us on social media as well. We are going, starting next week, the Minnesota Real Estate Show is going to be from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. every Sunday morning. So we're going to be a couple hours later. Scott, I know you're an early morning person, so I don't know how you feel about it.
Well, all I do is come to the show whenever you tell me. So if you want to switch it, just whenever you feel like switch it, just switch it. You can switch it to 11 or noon, or you go back to 8 in the morning, just as long as I get an email.
Yes, as long as you get an email. And we are excited. We are excited about the time a little bit later in the morning on a Sunday morning. Again, you can stream the show at your favorite social media platform. just look for the Minnesota Real Estate Team or the Minnesota Real Estate Show. But a lot to talk about here. Again, in this first segment, we always dive in with a real estate update, a mortgage update. Guys, this week with, again, Mike Overson, Luminate Home Loans, not in studio today, but with all these bank failures that were happening this week, kind of big news about some of these different banks around the country. What happened as a result of it is mortgage rates did drop.
Quite a bit.
Yeah, they dropped quite a bit. And so, some of the news that came out just said mortgage rates dropped significantly in the wake of several bank failures, reversing course after rising half a percentage point over the past month. So right now, 30-year fixed in the range of 6.73. And again, it was back in November, it was in the low sevens. So Scott, again, we're seeing some rates come down. That's good for the market, definitely.
Well, it's good for the psyche, and I know we have a lot of agents that listen to the show, and they probably feel a little bit of what I've gone through, where you still just have people either in shock about the quick jump from 2.6% to 7.5%, and they just haven't settled in yet, or the people that are saying, well, rates are still going to drop down, and that's true. Like Mike's been saying, we're not going to see 2.6%, and we've never seen that ever, and we're not going to see that again. I would say, at least in the time frame that you're going to own a house, and so the rates dropping into the sixes. He thinks low sixes, even in May, into the high fives. I think we're going to have people that are kind of on the borderline that are going to jump back in the pool.
Yeah. So again, just from an interest rates standpoint, rates having dropped this past week. From a real estate standpoint, we always like to talk here in the first segment about the current statistics in the Twin Cities. And looking at the numbers here, Scott, it's interesting. Again, new listings, new homes for sale in the Twin Cities down 23% year over year. There were 1,126 new properties that came on the market. Pending sales, accepted purchase agreements down pretty significantly, 36% less accepted purchase agreements, 751 this past week. And then the inventory is slightly increasing year over year, 5,539 homes for sale in the Twin Cities. That's an increase of 11%. The other statistics, Scott, I wanted to share with you, there was some recent data from a company called Black Knight that said that 40% of U.S. mortgages originated in 2020 and 2021, with almost 25% of all current home loans originating in 2021, when, again, rates were at historic lows. So that's part of what's driving, Scott. I think the low inventory is a lot of that.
Sure.
A lot of that happened. But again, pending sales down almost 40% less accepted purchase agreements.
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about this forever. Well, when you read those numbers, I just think of the person driving around their car going, "Oh my God, what a horrible real estate market!" It's actually the second best sellers market that we've ever had. So when you hear those numbers, you go, "Oh my gosh, that's gloom and doom."
Right.
Well, it just depends on what side of the fence you're on. The best sellers market that we ever had were the first 4 months of last year.
Yep.
This is second. 5,500 homes, still a ton of buyers out there. You're going to go in multiple offers if you're priced correctly, et cetera. So it's a great market. The frustrating side of it is on the buyer side, where because there's limited inventory, it's finding a home. The other thing that's creeped in there is I'm not buying a house now at 2.6%. I'm buying a house at 6%, 6.5%, or whatever it happens to be. So you throw all of those factors in, and no wonder, what is it, down 36%, about 40%. And I think if you go across the board and you look at every team out there, agents out there, for the most part, that's kind of what they're down, 34%, 30 to 40% in volume, because if it doesn't exist, you can't sell it.
Yeah, and it is hard. Again, if you're a buyer out there, be sure to be plugged in with a top real estate agent so he or she can help you through the process. Of course, we would love to work with you, family members, friends. The important thing in this market, Scott and Adam, is again, searching through all avenues on how to find a property. Traditionally, as agents, we would always go to North Star MLS, and properties are there. You look for it, you find it, and you write an offer, and great, life moves on. Well, what's happened now is you have to be a little more creative. You have to be a problem solver. It could involve direct mail to homeowners. It could involve door knocking. It could involve
Begging.
uh,
I've gone to strictly begging.
begging. It's
Yeah, exactly. I have no pride. I'll just beg for my buyer to get the house.
Yeah, it is interesting though, because it is. I'm seeing again deals, a lot of non-MLS types of transactions happening, and again, in a market like this, you just need an agent who's very proactive, who's motivated, who's hardworking, who's out there willing to do everything possible to help you find a property. But again, guys, if we can get rates to stay steady, even down a little bit, I think the shock is over. Now people know, and things are
Well-
settling in, Scott.
Well, they have, and we've had a reset in pricing. I mean, make no mistake about it. When the first 4 months of last year, when we went from 2.6 to 7.5, the market literally shut down.
Sure.
I mean, the only real estate that was happening was was non-fun real estate, meaning necessity real estate. I'm relocating to the area. I'm getting a divorce.
Someone passed.
Something, yeah. But now, fast forward about a year, we've had rates around that 6+ range, and people are starting to settle in, and you're not paying what you paid last year. I think I didn't go over, but I think the median sale price a year ago was like 384, and I think right now we're probably like 340. I haven't looked at the numbers lately, but that's probably close to where we're at.
Yeah, so 340. So it's again, timing wise, it shows a slight increase year over year, because the most recent data we have is January. But again, to Scott's point, again, as agents, brokers can tell you, there was just a shock, a shock across the market with
Yeah.
with not as much activity.
So two things have to, two things have to happen, or one of two things. Either rates need to go back down to sustain prices where they're at, or prices need to adjust to be able to make the affordability where it's at. And that's what's happened. About a 10% reduction from last year. So if you got $450 for your house last year, you're probably getting $410. Still good, because you probably bought it for $300 3 years ago. So I mean, the appreciation is still there. It's just not climbing on top of it like we saw over the last 3 years.
Thank you for joining us on Love 105 FM or on social media, wherever you might be catching us on your favorite platform. Grateful you are here. We're moving to 10 a.m. starting next week. I know you love seeing those really sleepy eyes of Scott Wolmering and Adam last week. Poor Adam Hartung.
Oh my
was
gosh,
on.
Adam Hartung. When I said, what time do you normally get up? He's like, maybe 9 o'clock. And I'm looking at those eyes, and I'm thinking, I think you're a noon guy. I think your work day is noon to
Adam,
noon to
Adam
9.
McIntyre Bart, you're a morning guy though, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. Our world kind of doesn't stop, so we're a 24/7 company. and-
Yeah, for this guy. I mean, this guy's shaking the trees. I met him through email, by the way, and I know we're coming up against our first break. We're going to dive in with Adam. Met him by email, but he started a wonderful company here in the Twin Cities from Ireland. He's got a great story. Excited to share this after the first break. I know many fellow agents, brokers listening to the Minnesota Real Estate Show here work with Adam and his team. So it's going to be fun chatting with him. Thankfully, our friend JoJo is in studio here helping us produce the show. We're grateful for her coming in early on Sundays. But this, friends, is the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Good morning. Question from Craig that says, where do you see metro area lake property values in the spring market? Really good question, Craig. Thanks for listening to the show. Scott?
I can give you 2 properties on Prior Lake that I've looked at and I'm going to be listing either this year, beginning of next year. If you go back 4 years, one was at 800,000.
Okay.
And then I did another market on it about 2 years ago. It was about $1.1 million.
Yeah.
And now it's at about $1.4 million.
And why is that though?
Because
why?
well, there's no inventory period.
Yeah.
So then you take that and you squash it down to a lakes. There's nothing on the lakes. I think there was 7 or 8 actual MLS sales last year on Prior Lake, and that's just that some of that is because there's so little inventory, word of mouth on the lake. They sell off market.
Yeah.
But to answer the question, they're going up considerably. There was a house that 2 years ago I was going to be putting on at $1.6 million, and I think we're going to be putting on this spring, and we're going to probably be 2.1. So I mean that's a big jump.
It's hard, Craig, as you hear those numbers again. What's happened again during COVID. We saw a lot of people obviously put in pools
Because they couldn't swim in the lake. I'm trying to understand the code.
No, during COVID because
I
they're
do
at
understand.
home, so they're putting in pools. But the hard thing too, again, with a lot of people during COVID, the cabin, the lake property really has become in demand as well. And so with that strong demand, we're seeing the rising of prices. So it's hard for a lot of people because it's become unaffordable in a lot of areas, in a lot of prime communities in the Twin Cities. Super hard to afford that. In fact, I was talking to a friend I met with for coffee on Friday who is from Prior Lake, and he cannot believe 40 years ago, his family's lived there for 40 years. He can't believe the cost to live in Prior Lake right now.
It's crazy.
I mean, it is again, to live on the lake. It's not affordable.
Yeah, it's not, and they're like I was saying, they're not making it. They're not making any more Lakeshore. So Lakeshore is going to be solid. And the other thing that's really put a kind of a boom onto the lake purchases, cabin purchases, or second home, because they're not really cabins, is I lost my train of thought.
You were
Sorry.
talking about cabins.
People being able to work from home.
Oh,
So they, like I have a client right now that just bought or is buying a place in Wisconsin.
our viewership just dropped.
Yeah, I know. And they're still, and they still are going to work in the cities, but they can work wherever they want.
Sure.
So they're going to move to Wisconsin, go
Work
to
remote.
the lake, and work remotely.
We're just talking about Florida. Adam, are you thinking of moving to Florida?
Not right away, but that's probably one of our next markets. So
Yeah, it is. And good morning, everybody. Good morning, Jared Havens, owner of Credit Life, a wonderful company, doing an awesome job. Good morning there, Juan. Thanks for joining us. Anessa, thank you so much. Again, if you have questions, comments, thoughts about the market, we're happy to take it. Again, the show is going to 10 a.m. starting next week. We are excited about that. Just a couple hours later here on Sunday mornings. And good morning to everybody joining us here. Sometimes if we can't see your name, you have to download the Restream. It's just called Restream. You have to download the app in order for us to see your name. So if we don't call out your name, that is the reason why. But we're getting ready to go back live on air. But again, lower rates, Scott and Adam. Feels better. We're settling in a little bit. Spring market's here. It's today's the last cold day. Do you realize that?
Ever. This is it.
have you just jinxed us?
Man, that'll be nice. Put the coats away forever.
Yeah, coats. Put the coats away. What is the temperature like today in Ireland? Do you think in Belfast?
It's probably in the high 40s, 50s, but it's most likely raining.
That
It's damp,
so it's damp.
very damp
Yeah.
all year round.
Yeah, super cool. Again, just with St. Patrick's Day here, and Adam being from Ireland, we're getting ready to go back live again on Love 105 FM. 612-294-6949 is how you can join us.
And remember, what is your biggest fear?
What is your biggest fear?
What is your biggest fear is the question for the day. So go ahead and type those in.
Related to anything?
To anything. So when you think about, like I've got mine, I
These
literally,
deep thoughts
I literally
Scott
don't even
throws
want to
at
say
us.
it out loud because I'm so freaked out that it would actually happen. That's my biggest fear.
Here we go. We're going back live on air here at the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Top of the morning to you, and welcome back to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. We appreciate you joining us here. Excited. We've got our usual music back with us. Thanks, JoJo, for your help, for being in studio. We've got Mr. Adam McIntyre Barn with us, joining us, Scott Wolmering, and of course, Mike Overson, Luminate Home Loans. Scott, good to see you there, young man.
Yep. Good to be back. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Again, Minnesota Real Estate Show. You can go to mnrealestateshow.com or 612-294-6949 to go ahead and join us. We were talking. Well, we had a question actually on the break. I think it was Craig that had asked, what do you think is going to happen with lake home price?
Lake home pricing.
Yeah, and we were talking a little bit about that off air. And what I said is they're going to continue to go up. I gave some scenarios of just taking Prior Lake and a couple listings that I'm going to be putting on, where when I did markets on them 4 years ago or 3 years ago, one was at like 800, and now it's probably like more like $1.3 million, $1.4 million. One a few years ago was at $1.6 million. Now, if I'd be listing, it'd be at about 2.1. So those are really, really high increases on the lake. Again, limited inventory in the regular market means there's limited inventory in the lake market.
Yeah.
And so if you're the only choice and you want to be on Prior, can you push your price point? Probably.
Yeah, I think as we look at the market again here moving forward in 2023, and again, you're welcome to join our discussion by phone or text to 612-294-6949. A lot of, in talking with agents, a lot of people are wondering, hey, what is this year going to be like? Again, the first quarter, really the last 6 months for many of the different teams, brokers, it really has been a slowdown. There's kind of been a shock to the system with interest rates being so much higher. We're starting to see the last week or two a little momentum. We're starting to see, a few more deals happening. And I think, again, with this warmer weather, I think it's super. It's going to help the official first day of spring. Do you guys know first day of spring?
I would say it is. I don't know. April 12th.
Do you know, Adam?
I think it's somewhere at the beginning of April, but
Jojo, do you know first day of official spring? What do you think?
I do not.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Actually, I don't know either. No. No, it's this week. I think it's like Tuesday.
In March?
Yeah.
Really?
I think the first day of spring is actually. So there is some method. There is some. It does make a difference here. I mean, really. I mean, when it's freezing cold, when there's snow, there's buyers, sellers. A lot of people are just not into moving, Scott.
Yeah, but I mean, I disagree with that. I think the last couple of years, especially the first 6 months of last year and the first 6 months of this year, I mean, you could have put padlocks and chains on the door to not let them in, and you're still going to sell it.
Monday's the first day of spring. Thank you. Hey, we got a special friend here with us, and for all the agents listening too, presentation of a listing, so crucial in this market. It can make a huge difference, Scott, between getting $1 amount and another dollar amount. A lot of people think, hey, I've got an iPhone, I can do photography, I can do things, my way. And again, we've got a wonderful gentleman, Adam McIntyre Barn, with us today from Nordy Photography. Good morning to you, Adam. Thanks for being here.
good morning, Ryan.
Hey, so talk to us a little bit. Professional photography. How did you start the company? And what are you seeing in this current market? And we love your accent. So just talk. Till like 9 a.m. Our listenership will go up.
So I moved here from Ireland in 2016. I was a fresh-faced 21-year-old, fresh out of college, and moved here, got into the real estate world, and I shared with you a couple of weeks ago that I actually got my license, and then realized that at 21 I didn't have enough life experience necessarily. So I caught the bug for real estate photography and launched this company. So yeah, it went from a one-man band to 20 some people now, and we're a 24/7 operation across 3 states.
Wow.
We are based in the Twin Cities. Our customer support staff are based right downtown Minneapolis, and when you call, we pick up, and when you text, we'll answer you. So it's kind of a crazy company that's just growing organically and spread through word of mouth and some email advertising. So
yeah, I have to tell people too how I met Adam. Adam his company sends out these really great emails, and a lot of people, I mean, especially Scott, don't read their emails.
Yeah, you'd get my click. You get my morning erase click.
That's terrible.
Well, I mean,
It's not very thoughtful.
I
Scott.
know, but it's so hard when you get so many. So literally every morning I go in and I delete like 100. If I don't know it, and it's not a client or potential client, I delete it.
But here's the thing with Adam's marketing, it is kind of catchy. There's always something, a little angle to it. And so I always would like seeing his stuff. That's how we kind of connected and met. We had a cup of coffee, and it's just great to hear your story about what you're doing. What are you seeing in this market? Have you guys seen a huge downtick in business?
So usually after Thanksgiving is where our year kind of drops off, probably similar in your own businesses. And
Yeah.
What we're seeing what we've really seen a shift is agents are they're not ordering as many shoots, but the shoots that they're ordering they're investing more in their marketing. So they're they're doing premium photos, or they're doing floor plans, or Matterport or drone. So the average spend is up. So I think agents are doubling down on their own brand to really, set themselves apart from, there's a lot of agents out there.
So for people that haven't sold a house or bought a house in a while, again, this trend to obviously, all of the beautiful photography, the video tours. What do you say to someone that
I've got a question off topic. Sorry about that. but
Well,
I'm sorry, but when you said video, if I don't, my age, if I don't say it right now, I'll forget it. So when you take the tours with that little white circle that you stick,
Yes.
how do you not get stuck in the corner? I get stuck every single time I try to use it.
Scott, we maybe
No, I guarantee you. I guarantee you, people listening to this, I'm not the only one. When I put
you gotta turn it.
No, but if you put it then you get to a point, like if I'm looking at the kitchen and then I put it over in a kitchen corner, then I'm just in the corner. I can't get back out because it won't let you can't see my hand gestures, but it won't let me swing to go back out in.
So a lot of them, like if it's a Matterport, which is probably one of the most common ones,
Yeah.
if you like click and drag,
Yeah, click and drag.
click and drag that, or the
So it's a mouse, Scott. It's
Yeah, no, I
it's
get
called a
that, but I didn't
mouse
know you had
with
to
your
drag it.
computer.
It's normally you just click at the white circle, then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, I'm in the closet,
Well, what
and
happens
I can't get out.
is the mouse now. You don't have to have it plugged into your computer anymore.
All right. Anyway, sorry to throw you off, but that has always bugged me. And I guarantee you, people listening right now are like,
No,
I have the same thing.
hey, we got to give again. Appreciate people joining us. Facebook, my friend Deb Lazinski, awesome agent. Deb said the first day of spring is tomorrow, March 20th, and my daughter's birthday, Leah's birthday. Happy birthday to Leah. That is so cool. Got a nice note, Adam. I enjoyed your note that came in the mail the other day with the scratch off. Well, that's nice. You sent us scratch offs.
we have to own St. Patrick's Day. We're
Right.
owned by an Irish person, so
That's right.
I'm very thankful for our admin Emily, who sat and hand wrote like 300 cards.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was you.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
she put my business card in, which was very nice of her. So
Hey, you know what we should maybe do is have the other O'Neill brother on the show when Adam's on here. What do you think, Scott?
Yeah, I think that'd be a great.
I think we should have Tim in here.
Yes.
We could talk a little. My brother Timothy spent 3 months in Ireland. He says studying the music. I know there was a lot of Guinness.
I would say, well, you're in
drank,
when you're in Ireland.
in the pubs.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we'll have to have Tim on next time with you there.
that'd be great.
Someone said, "How does Adam say goodbye?"
I just disappear. It's the Irish goodbye.
That's the Irish. Yeah,
that's awesome.
well, Ryan is the king of that. Ryan is
Yes.
the king of the Irish goodbye. We're all on we go on this trip every year, so we're all at this trip, and it's 11 o'clock, and Ryan's like, "Hey, I'm gonna grab a water. We'll see you guys in a second." And I'm like, "He's gone." Everyone's like, "He's gone." Irish goodbye, never to be seen again.
So, do you know the history? Could you give us any history on that, on an Irish goodbye?
Oh, I wish I did. Unfortunately, I don't.
Yeah, maybe this may be Americanized, but the thought with it is the Irish goodbye is you are not bringing attention to yourself when you're leaving. Think of as Minnesotans how we leave. Hey, Scott, you give a hug, you talk for 5 minutes. Hey, Adam, talk to everybody, and you're like 40 minutes versus
Deserting everybody without notice.
if you just slip out, the idea is you're not bringing attention to yourself. You're Irish goodbying. And that's kind of the for those of you that like history, that's kind of the thought. There you go, Adam.
I did do that this week. I was at a Roaring Twenties themed award ceremony.
You
on
did Irish
Wednesday night,
goodbye.
and I just dipped out. I was like, okay, bye.
Bye.
I'd been there for like 5 hours. I was like, I gotta drive home and let the dog out. So
I gotta try 'em. Hey, how about this question? I have heard this from many customers over the years and agents too. What do you do for presenting a property that isn't a super attractive home? It's just kind of an ugly property, and there's pictures people take, and sometimes agents will say, "Oh my gosh, these rooms are not nearly as big as the photos appear," or the presentation is, in other words, totally different. So, in other words, what do you say about that? Or I mean, thoughts about how you get around that? The consumer being upset that what they see is not what they visit in person.
yeah, that's a great question, and we run into it every once in a while. You know, our job is to present the property in the best possible light.
Yes.
And you know, we do use wide angle lenses to, you know, showcase full space. And
Scott does on his dating apps.
Yes, I do too.
Wide angle.
Wide angle. You got to get that
Very
head-
wide
get
angle
that
for
head in
Scott. Especially you can tell in the social media here this morning, a real wide angle on Scott. Sorry, please.
So, you know, we're there to present it in the best light. You know, when we go in and houses are like not necessarily ready. So like if it's an investor property,
Yeah.
particularly,
Yeah.
we have like a virtual staging program so virtual staging can actually work both ways.
Sure.
We can put furniture into the room, but we can also take stuff out.
Oh.
So we have a program for those sorts of homes where we kind of clean it up like your mom's came over and just like cleaned up your house, and we just take the clutter away.
Or your dad.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly.
Mom or your dad. Come over.
That's interesting.
So like there's, you know, we've seen all sorts of things over the years, and we've had tenants that literally won't get off the couch, and we'll be like, we got to take this photo, and they're like, well, I'm not moving. I'm like, okay, let's
So-
go. And then we'll digitally remove them and then replace the bit of sofa that they were sitting on.
What percent of photos do you think is that done where there's probably not super common, I would think.
It's virtual staging in itself, you know, just adding furniture to a vacant room or, you know, upstyling space. That's pretty common. I'd say we do probably, you know, about 50 properties a week that'll be ordered with the photo shoots.
Wow.
And the great thing is it works, it can work multiple different ways. So
Yeah.
like even for the exterior, one of my favorite things to do is when my wife Sarah and I are talking about a new project for our house,
Sure.
is I will have our team virtually render what I think it should look like, and then
Oh.
I'll like show Sarah, and we'll be like, okay, do we like this?
Oh, that's a
Huh?
good idea.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
It is a super good.
So-
So what's cool about Adam and his company too, again, they're working with a lot of folks, individual agents, teams, brokers, but also new construction with the Parade of Homes. Talk a little bit about the new construction stuff you're doing.
Yeah, new construction's been really interesting over the last few years. So, you know, early 2020 when COVID hit, obviously a lot of builders had a ton of inventory that they were like kind of in crisis. Like, are we going to be able to sell this?
Yeah.
Then obviously new construction with low interest rates just took off. Now it's kind of like the seesaws went the other way, and there's quite a lot of new construction inventory out there. I've seen you guys like February was a huge month for us with the parade coming up. Lots of these like spec homes that are finished, ready to go, ready to move into.
We like
And
that.
Which is so cool. I mean, literally, it was a year-ish ago
Yeah.
where if you were looking new construction,
Nothing.
you're gonna have to wait 18 months. So you're
Yeah.
not gonna be able to move in until next summer. And now, yeah, I agree. I've got a lot of clients. My ex-wife works for a great builder, Country Joe, south of the river. I think they carry 3 or 4 specs.
Yeah.
So you can literally, if you're an out-of-town person or whatever you don't want to buy, you can close in 90 days.
Yeah.
That was unheard of a year ago.
Yeah, well, again, had a comment that says you do have to disclose that a home has been virtually staged or virtually cleaned? Question mark.
I'll
Yeah.
send that one back to you.
Yeah,
because-
no,
Yeah,
it is
you do.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's the point too. That some customers, because I've heard that from agents before, where maybe it is the really wide angle that someone will use, and then they'll go and they'll be like, "Wow, this room is just tiny," and so it's a balance of probably what presenting, as Adam said, his job is to present it in the best possible light, but also do it obviously in the most honest, straightforward, ethical way, which you
Yeah,
guys do, of course.
Yeah, like what I like to do, if I have like a really ugly house,
Yeah.
I'll take a picture of a really cool house and use those pictures. And then I
You're
just
so terrible.
say they're not the exact. This house isn't exactly the same, but the pictures are really cool.
That's so
That's a great
terrible.
tactic.
No, it is. It is something that, again, we as realtors are with the code of ethics. Obviously, truth in advertising is very important. But this trend is interesting, Adam, that this has happened. And again, with you and your company, really being a leader here in the Twin Cities with that. Is there anything else you're seeing? Any other kind of trends or anything with this coming into the spring market with Nordy Photography?
We're really seeing a lot of like floor plans have just kind of went crazy recently.
Yeah,
You know.
I love that feature where you can
so-
actually have a floor plan of the house.
Tell me more.
So with the photo shoot, we literally go around, take measurements of all the rooms, and produce a floor plan. And I think it really helps people understand the flow and the layout of a home, because if if somebody's got kids or
Yeah.
stuff, and they're like, oh, it's only got 2 bedrooms upstairs and the rest are like on the main level, that may or may not work for certain people.
Sure.
So to really understand just like, how does this house flow? Does it work for them? I think it helps buyers qualify it.
Well, it does. And the other thing that it's taken away for agents that do it is, an agent to be able to put a home on 99 times out of 100 going to look at the old MLS number.
Sure.
And so they're going to pull it up. Okay, this whole house sold 4 years ago and it's 4,500 square feet. So they
Yeah.
use the same measurements that were already put on MLS,
Yeah.
which they can because it's been advertised. They don't have to be detectives.
Yeah.
But now with the floor plan, you actually do know what you're dealing with from a square footage standpoint that's accurate. Because I can tell you that the majority of real estate agents out there mess up a three level split, 4-level split, and modified 2-story on what the actual foundation is, what the actual above ground square
Sure.
footage is. It's always wrong. And so with the floor plans, it's legit.
612-294-6949 is how you can join us at the Minnesota Real Estate Show. We are on Love FM. Excited to be on FM. And the show's moving to 10 a.m. next week. So you won't see those sleepy eyes of us all for those joining us on social media. Scott, I was thinking about these pictures, taking pictures, presenting in the best possible light. You, over the years, with all your dating apps, presenting yourself in the best possible light. And speaking of that, Mr. Wolmering is doing a show. He did a bodybuilding show, and you're presenting yourself in your best possible light.
That's right. Yeah, no, I am gonna.
Well, you were almost speechless.
I am
there.
going to train. I am training for a show July 29th. So I've been out of the gym actually for 2 years, so just getting back at it. So we'll see, but it'll be fun.
Hey, you know what? We're at our final break at the Minnesota Real Estate Show, 612-294-6949. Starting again next week, 10 a.m. We're going to be here. You're welcome to join us throughout the week as well. Questions, comments, thoughts. If you're looking to buy or sell a home, invest in real estate, please don't hesitate to reach out. MN Real Estate Show. We'll be back after the break. Thanks for tuning in. Scott, people are commenting they want to hear more about your bodybuilding show. Are you speechless on me? What's
No,
the
yeah,
deal?
no. It's well, first of all, it's a bodybuilding competition, but I do what's called physique.
Physique. Okay.
Yeah, physique are for people that can't get like my legs don't grow.
Sure.
So so doing bodybuilding would be no.
Go
good.
Scott. Someone said go Scott.
All right.
Hey, Adam McIntyre. Any other thoughts for us from Nordy's standpoint? How can agents, brokers, customers get involved with you guys too?
Yeah. So we have a great website, super easy to use. We also have an app that's available on iPhone and Android. If you just search the App Store for Nordy Photography
Nice.
and download that.
This guy doesn't mess around. I mean, you get stuff done.
Yeah, one of the really nice things about our service is when you our booking system's quite intelligent, so it calculates drive times between appointments with historic traffic data. Takes into account like sunrise and sunset times. So the appointment time you see available on the app is a true time. It's not like, oh, I'd like a photographer at 10 a.m. and then we call you and be like, no, it's actually going to be 1 o'clock.
Oh no.
We actually show up at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
We're kind of known for being on time and our quick turnaround. So if
That
you take
helps.
photos today, you'll have them in your inbox. We say by noon the next day, 9 out of 10 times you have them before 8 a.m. the next morning.
Wow.
Sweet.
So take the photos today, get the photos next day.
For agents out there, I know that what's important. How do you, or that this is important? What kind of tracking systems do you have? Like where you break down how many people have looked at the photos or any of that kind of stuff?
Absolutely. We have this great back-end platform that we use. It's actually called Aereo, which was started by two guys from Minnetonka, two like young college kids that went to Boston, and they built this phenomenal platform.
Huh.
So you get like a branded property site with every listing. It comes with like lead capture that goes directly to your phone, so it can like email or text the agent like right away as soon as the lead comes through. It doesn't come to us at all. And it gives you like, you can log in and check the analytics for it, set up weekly emails, and create. We have a whole marketing center where you can create brochures, social media posts.
Hey, biggest fear. Want to see some comments? What's your biggest fear for anybody that's willing to share? That's our question of the day. We like to have something fun, non-real estate related.
What's your biggest fear, JoJo?
Biggest fear, JoJo?
Spiders.
Spiders. JoJo said spiders. Biggest fear.
Yeah.
Well, if you, as we think about that, as we're coming back from the break, we'll talk about that. Adam, do you have anything fresh on the brain?
Yes, I'm trying to find a way to finesse it a little bit.
He's trying to finesse it. He's trying to finesse.
Yeah, I guess to like have a job where I have to like punch a clock and sit in like a cubicle.
That
Like
would
Office Space.
That'd be your biggest fear.
Yeah,
You're like the guy in Office Space.
I like to have like control. I work a lot, but I like to like do it on my own time. I don't like to like, I might take a morning off, but I'll also sit until 10 p.m. working on the couch.
Glitter. Someone said glitter.
Glitter is your biggest fear?
I love it. Tell us more. Tell us more.
Especially maybe you have carpet, because then the glitter would just get
yeah,
everywhere.
sure.
And
Maybe if you're super clean
Well, with kids, yeah. Glitter and glue. I've had enough tables ruined with that stuff.
with glitter.
Yeah, and glue.
Yeah. Well, I've seen you with glitter.
Yeah, with glitter and glue.
Oh man, glitter on my hands. Someone said.
that's
Wait,
where-
because you can never really get it off.
Right.
A
Oh, I
week,
see.
a week later, you're still gonna have one speck.
Yeah. Sometimes it gives you a little shine though if you have some glitter on your hands. It's a nice talking piece, perhaps.
it's like when you go on vacation to a beach and you like bring your tennis shoes and you come back and for about 6 months you're finding just little bits of sand in your shoes. It's like my least favorite thing.
Yeah.
We did, by the way, this week. It was kind of funny with Scott with his physique bodybuilding. Someone threw out a nice picture of yours truly as well from the
was
beach. And it was just, again, as you can tell, I really have been working very hard on my physique. And I've really been just working very hard on it.
Oh,
So
that
I
was-
asked
that was
Scott, he
funny.
was looking for a workout buddy. And I asked him if he would kindly consider me. You never replied though, Scott. I never heard anything back.
I had so many, and
You did.
I had so many people apply to work out, which is great. I'd already committed to actually an agent that's on the team, so we'll see how she does. But she's pretty excited, and
You did have a lot of people.
I had a lot of people.
Yeah, a lot of different people who were interested in that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
I know, it's one of those mornings. Well, maybe at 10 o'clock we'll be actually able to get through a thought. When we get back, we will definitely get into some of those myths
Yes.
in real estate. I'll tell you what my fear is.
Yes.
And again, it's literally is one that I don't even like talking about. Like my ex-wife Jen will tell you, it's being buried alive.
Oh.
So like my kids know, if anyone breaks into our house, they're not tying my hands up. So just so you know, the kids, I said,
Very uplifting.
I'm
morning
like, so
here.
if someone breaks in and they're like, put your hands behind your back, or I'm going to do, well, they're going to have to do what they're going to do because I'm not putting my hands behind my back.
You could do it.
I am not. Because once you're bound, they can bury you alive. Anything. It is literally. I don't even like talking. I get sweaty talking about it.
Oh boy.
Ugh.
Oh, it is a little scary. Hey, we're going back live on air. It's Love 105 FM. Thanks for joining us. Top of the morning to you, and thanks for joining us here at Love 105 FM for the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Every Sunday morning, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Next Sunday, we're going to be 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. We welcome your questions, comments, thoughts, 612-294-6949. Today's question of the week is your biggest fear. And Scott, you just shared with us your biggest fear is being buried alive.
Mine is being buried alive. Like I was saying off air, my kids know if anyone's ever to break into our house and they want to have you put your hands behind your and tie you up, I won't do it. So sorry, kids. You're gonna have to. We're all gonna have to fend for ourselves because Daddy's not going tied up. It's like if you ever watched. So there's a show called Lucifer where you're in a hell loop.
Okay.
So it's like the thing that you are the most scared of. If you end up in HE double hockey sticks, that's what actually happens to you on a loop. And so for me, it would be you're like in the ocean, 100 feet down in water in a steel thing,
In a tube.
and then you die because you drowned. But then because you can't dry, you wake up and then you drowned again, and then you just do that forever and over and over and over again. I saw that once on a Lucifer. And I'm like, that would be my hell loop.
Oh no, Adam, what do you think of this show here? This is a little crazy. This is your debut.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
That is terrifying.
Oh my gosh, forever. I mean, forever.
Hey, before I forget, we do have a very nice home for sale with the Minnesota real estate team. This one is in Wisconsin, Osceola Township. It is 584 2427 113th Avenue in Osceola Township. It is listed with Mr. Bill Ebert, an awesome agent on the Minnesota real estate team, Remax Advantage Plus. Price on this one is $584,900. It's a 5-bed, 3-bath, two-car garage. Bill had mentioned the sellers are looking for a closing in and around June 1st. And he also said, do you have any buyers that are looking for that breathtaking view? It's got amazing St. Croix Valley views from every part of the house, a very open floor plan, beautiful primary suite. And again, it's 6 acres. It's a 6-acre property. It's located in a great school district. It's close proximity to year-round outdoor recreation. Be sure to check out all the pictures online. We're talking pictures today with Adam McIntyre Barn of Nordy Photography. This one's 2427 113th Avenue, Osceola Township, 584,900. A nice property indeed. Adam, what does it cost people to get photos with your company?
They start for the most basic package. You start like $120 and go up from there. We have all sorts of add-ons and bundles available. And yeah, if you're listening to the show, if you use the code radio, you get 10% off your first order with us.
Sweet.
Wow. So listening to the show, you use the code radio, you get 10% off. You are just a business. I'm impressed by you. This guy just dials it in. Scott, think of you in your 20s. If you dialed it in like Adam is doing here.
Yeah, I might be a real estate agent 25 years later. if I put a little bit of work in my 20s, yeah, maybe I'd be a real estate agent my age.
Yeah, you and I both, right? You and I
Right.
both looking at our 20s. But no, Adam, it is super cool. And again, for everyone listening, obviously the virtual tour, professional photography, even in this super limited inventory market, it's so very important. Adam, we see a lot of people do coming soons now, where the property, all the photos, everything's put out there. You can't do any showings on the property until the actual go live date. But it's just so important. What you do with an agent and broker is, from a marketing perspective, really probably the most crucial thing to present that for your customer. So you need a partner, someone like you that agents can trust.
Absolutely. And, you know, a lot of our team have been with us for a long time. You know, I hope we're a good company to work for, and our photographers stick around, and they're very experienced, and they really develop relationships with our clients. So, you know, when the agent's saying like, hey, Adam's going to be here from Nordy Photography to take the photos on Wednesday, or yeah, it's great.
Yeah, super cool. Again, best way for people to reach you, Adam?
Our website is nordyphoto.com, or you can download our app on the iPhone or Android app stores. Just search for Nordy Photography, and yeah, reach out to us. We're always here, and people actually answer the phone. It's brilliant.
Great work on your radio debut, young man.
Thank you.
Very nice.
People love Adam's accent, and especially love the work that he and his company are doing. Scott, we're on the last few minutes of the show here. We're getting into the spring market. As those online have told us, the first day of spring is Monday. What do we think? What's going to happen here the next 30, 60, 90 days?
I think it's going to be the same as we were last year. It's going to be an extremely aggressive market. Already is. And if you're priced correctly, marketed correctly, have the right agent, etc., should go into multiple offers and get the highest possible number that the market will dictate for you. So that's what we're going to be doing. I also think we're going to see rates drop into the 5s in May. I think we're going to see a big push there. So I think our middle summer to early fall is going to be good, where last year that's when it shut down. So I think that's what's going to happen. We did promise these guys a few myths before we wrap up. Myths in real estate. I like to call these cocktail hour myths. If you've ever been to a neighborhood party.
So not a miss, but a myth.
Myth. Yeah, something people think that's not true.
Yeah.
And think about it. If you're a doctor and you go to a neighborhood party, and somebody says, I think I've got the flu, and he says, well, come in and see me on Monday. He goes, I'll just Google it. Because so as a real estate agent, when you're at these parties, you hear comments that people make that is just completely incorrect, but of course you smile and just listen.
Yeah, what do you got?
Those are myths. So myths. First myth is, you know what? I don't need to sell, so I can price it at this number because I don't need to sell.
You don't need to sell.
Yeah, hear it all the time. And what a seller is saying when they say that is they're saying, if I hold out for a longer period of time, I will get more money for my house.
Right.
Because that's the only reason you would say, well, I don't have to sell. Because when you say I don't have to sell,
sure,
you're like thinking, well, that means if I turn down 3 or 4 offers that I don't like, I'm going to get a higher offer, where we know it is a zillion percent completely the opposite of that. Right.
Yeah, it's hard. What's hard, and I can think of some transactions that our team has had in the last year or two, where you have one party or the other that is unrealistic. And oftentimes, I can think of some specific cases where sellers are thinking the property is a certain number, and they just don't negotiate whether they have an agent or not. Sometimes just being brutally honest with people on market value, on the current conditions. You have to have 2 willing parties. And I see it a lot where one or the other thinks, hey, well, last year our house was worth $485. I got an appraisal, and last July, Ryan, it's $485. Well, it's now a new year. It's a new month. It's a new market. And you got to look at where things are at right now. And that can be hard for us as, for homeowners. But Scott, it's all about current market conditions.
That's right. The other myth that comes up a lot, again, at these little cocktail parties you might be in your neighborhood, is, the Johnsons, you see, they sold their house. They sold it in 2 days. They just gave it away.
They gave it away?
They gave it away because they sold it in 2 days.
Okay. Tell me about that. Why is that not good?
Again, completely wrong. In this market, first of all, you can't give a house away. It's impossible. So if your house is worth $550 and it's listed at $500, you're going to get $550. You're probably going to get more. If your house is worth $350 and you're listed at $300, you're still going to get $350. So you can't underprice a home. The reversal is true in this market. If you're on the market, and obviously price ranges differ, but let's just take the under 600 crowd. If you're under 600 grand and there are no major chinks in your armor, you're not backing up to a highway, you're not backing up to a major busy road,
sure,
you don't have water issues, all that. So just dealing straight. If you're on the market for more than 4 or 5 days, you missed it.
Sure.
Either your agent didn't get the number right, it's not marketed correctly. You should be wrapped up in this market done correctly with multiple offers in 4 to 5 days if you're priced correctly and marketed correctly.
Yeah, the only thing I would add to that, what Scott's point is, in this market, what's become common is a lot of sellers oftentimes can sell off market. And really, the agent, the broker's job is to, one of their jobs is to explain benefits of doing that and also not doing that. In other words, if a property is listed publicly on MLS, that gives everyone an opportunity to see a property, to make an offer, to get the highest price possible. Sometimes, to your point about if it's sold quickly within a day or two, perhaps maybe it's a neighbor or a friend or someone that approaches you about buying a property and you agree to it very quickly. Maybe agents aren't involved in that case. In that case, that could be problematic because if you're not, again, having an agent counsel you on price, but also then expose it to the market
That's right.
to know what the demand is for it. I see sometimes a lot of people, hey, I sold it to my neighbor's friend's daughter. And that's the only case I can think of, Scott, where a quick sale may not be good in that situation.
Yeah, no, I agree. And we've preached this on the show forever. It is a very, very rare circumstance, really rare circumstance in this market. Again, not talking about other markets. I'm talking about this market right now.
This market.
That it is a very rare circumstance where it would ever make sense for you to pre-sell your home to somebody off market or accept a pre-offer, even if it's over list price. I got a ton of those last year. Hey, Scott, we haven't seen it, but they're going to write 25 grand over, no contingencies, blah, blah, blah. Go ahead,
I
Adam.
had a question actually for Adam, wondering if Adam and Nordy take photos for people for their dating apps.
No, you did not. Did you actually write that in?
That sounds like a great market.
Sounds like a
So
great market.
maybe by next time I come on,
I know.
we'll have some sort of discount code for that.
Scott, think about that. A wide angle lens there,
Oh,
young man.
Hopefully it has some of those buffers. Is it called buffers? What is it called when the filters?
Yeah, kind of
filters.
filters.
You got to have filters on it for me.
Yeah. Adam's mind is thinking, hey, it's been a fun show here. Again, next week we're going to be at 10 a.m. Excited about 10 a.m. We like later morning here. Love 105. Again, throughout the week, MN Real Estate Show. If you're buying, selling, investing in real estate, we actually continue to do seminars, first-time homebuyer investment property seminars. MNRealEstateShow.com is where you can see those seminars. We did one recently on VRBOs. That was super popular. Everybody, VRBOs is the rage, guys.
That's right. And we do sell real estate for a living. We do a show, and sometimes we will actually have people that go, hey, I've listened to the show for a couple of years and we just bought our first house. Thanks, guys. So we do sell real estate. That's how we keep the lights on. Hopefully you enjoy the show. We love doing it. But 612-294-6949. If you want to reach out to us that way, if you're thinking about buying, selling, or investing in real estate, or mnrealestateshow.com 24/7.
And my biggest fear is being dropped in the middle of the ocean somewhere.
Oh yeah, that's up there.
I can swim, but that wouldn't be fun.
No.
That's right. That's right up there. Have you seen some of those shows, Deep Water and all that, where they go scuba diving and the boat leaves them?
Oh,
And it's a husband and wife, which of course is never good anyway. And it's not good when you're in that stressful situation.
hey, Adam, great job on your debut. Again, Adam McIntyre Barn, awesome job today, bud.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Scott, great job.
You too.
Yeah.
Appreciate everybody listening.
Yeah, thank you everybody for joining us on Love 105 FM. We'll be back again next Sunday at 10 a.m. Hope everybody enjoys the rest of the weekend. Take care. Thanks for so many folks joining us throughout the whole show. We appreciate it. We'll be back next week. Did we get your fear?
Yes.
Oh, we got it off air.
Yeah,
Shit, that's right. That was mixed.
Yeah,
That was
your
mixed.
fear. No, your fear. Hey, thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll be back next week, 10 a.m. Enjoy the rest of the weekend, everybody, and hopefully some warm